When the people of Israel had crossed the Red Sea, they went into the desert of Shur, and for 3 days they travelled in the desert without finding water. Then they came to the oasis of Marah, but the water they found there was too bitter to drink. Thus they called the place Marah, which means bitter. And the people began to grumble against Moses, saying, "What are we to drink?" So Moses cried out to the Lord, and the Lord showed him a piece of wood, and throwing the piece of wood into the bitter water, the water became fit to drink. There the Lord issued a ruling for the Israelites through Moses, and put them to test. For the Lord said to them, "If you will listen carefully to the voice of the Lord, and do what is right in his eyes, obeying his commands and keeping all his decrees, then I will not allow you to suffer any of the diseases I sent on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals." After leaving the oasis of Marah, the Israelites travelled on and camped for a short while at the oasis of Elim, where they found 12 springs and 70 palm trees. Then they set out from there and journeyed into the wilderness of Sin, between the oasis of Elim and Mount Sinai, arriving there on the 15th day of the 2nd month, 1 month after leaving the land of Egypt. There in the wilderness of Sin, the people again began to grumble against Moses and Aaron, saying, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt, for there we sat around pots of meat and ate all the food we wanted. But you have brought us out into this desert to starve this entire assembly to death." Then the Lord said to Moses, "I shall rain down food from heaven for you. Each day the people are to go out and gather enough for that day. In this way I shall test them to see whether or not they will follow my instructions. At twilight they shall eat meat, and in the morning they shall be filled with bread. But on the 6th day, when they gather what they eat, let them gather twice as much as they gather daily, for the sake of the 7th day, which is the Sabbath." So Moses and Aaron said to the Israelites, "This evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord. For the Lord will give you meat to eat in the evening, and bread to satisfy you in the morning, because he has heard your grumblings which are against him, not against us. What have we done that you should complain about us?" And Aaron told the Israelites to look toward the desert, for the Lord was right there with them, and when they did, they saw the glory of the Lord in the form of a cloud. And as the Lord had said, that evening a vast number of quail flew in and covered the camp, while the next morning the area around the camp was wet with dew, and when the dew evaporated, a flaky substance as fine as frost lay there on the ground. The Israelites were puzzled when they saw it. "What is it?" they asked each other. They had no idea what it was, and Moses told them, "It is the food the Lord has given you to eat, and these are the Lord's instructions. Each household should gather as much as it needs. Pick up 2 quarts for each person in your tent. Do not keep any of it until morning." And the Israelites did as they were told. Some gathered much, while some gathered little, but when they measured it out, everyone had just enough. Those who gathered a lot had nothing left over, and those who gathered only a little had enough. Each family had just what it needed. However, some of the people who did not pay attention to Moses left part of the food until morning, and it became infested with maggots and began to smell. Thus, Moses was displeased with them. Each morning everyone gathered as much as they needed, and when the sun grew hot, the white edible substance melted away. But on the 6th day, Moses instructed them to gather twice as much as usual, 4 quarts for each person instead of 2. And when the people asked him why, and if the leftover would not decay as has been happening, Moses said to them, "It is the Lord's instructions. Tomorrow is a day of solemn rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. Bake what you will bake and boil what you will boil, and all that is left over lay it aside to be kept till the morning." Thus they laid the leftover food aside till the morning, and lo, it did not stink, and there were no worms in it, for the Lord preserved it. And Moses said to them, "Eat the leftover food today, for today is a day dedicated to the Lord, so there will be no food on the ground today. 6 days you shall gather food, but on the 7th day, which is a Sabbath, there will be none to gather." Yet on that 7th day, some of the people went out to gather food, but did not find anything. And the Lord asked Moses, "How long will these people refuse to obey my commands and instructions?" And so by this, they were made to understand that the Lord has given them the Sabbath to dedicate to him, which is why on the 6th day, he gives them bread for 2 days. For on the 7th day, everyone must stay where he is, and no one may leave his place. The Israelites called the food manna. It was white like coriander seed and tasted like wafers made with honey. The people of Israel would eat manna for 40 years until they arrived at the land where they would settle. they would eat manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. Still on their journey, the people left the wilderness of Sin and camped at a place called Rephidim, but there was no water there for them to drink. So again, the complaints arose, for they quarreled with Moses and said to him, "Give us water to drink." And Moses replied, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to test?" But tormented by thirst, they continued to argue with Moses, saying, "Why did you bring us out of Egypt? Are you trying to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst?" Thus Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." And the Lord said to Moses, "Go out in front of the people, taking with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. I will stand there before you by the rock at Horeb. Strike the rock, and water shall come out of it for the people to drink." And Moses did as the Lord commanded in the sight of the elders of Israel. And Moses named the place Massa, which means test, and Meribah, which means arguing, because the people of Israel argued with Moses and tested the Lord by saying, "Is the Lord here with us or not?"